I'm eating a brownie.
Nice. I am not eating a brownie.
Yeah, you're missing out. So, as always, we like to keep it real with you. For you, it's only past a day. For us, it's been a month.
Has it been a month?
I think it's been a month.
You know, it's probably been a month. What the hell did we watch yesterday? Quote unquote yesterday.
What was it? So we watched...
Thanksgiving was 2 days ago.
Oh, God, that was fucking a month and a half
Corbin
ago.
was the first one.
What was yesterday? It was a double feature, was Oh, it's Happy Death Day.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So, we accidentally got another double feature going on.
So, behind the scenes, why are we getting so many fights? Neither one of us know what we're talking about. We both argue about two different things.
I mean, I know what I'm talking about. It's just you're not picking up what I'm talking about.
So, he had Silent Hill Revelations.
And I'm like, yeah, we'll just watch that one.
I'm like, yeah, and I own Silent Hill Revelations, but no, I got the first one. And I didn't know it was a second movie.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want to watch the part where the lady gets turned into a water balloon. And I'm like, well, we won't have to. That's not in the second movie. And then you come bounding over here.
You're like, oh, we're doing double feature? I'm like, no.
You're like, well, no, we're gonna watch this one. I'm like, I was talking about that one. I pull out Revelation. Anyway.
As always, we read the back. Oh, where are you going with that?
I don't. I've already forgotten.
I don't remember how to start this. I know we don't do death counts.
Well, no, I was gonna say something. Now I don't remember what I was gonna say. I guess.
Good. I'm glad I fucked you just like I fucked Phil earlier this year.
Once you enter Silent Hill, there is no turning back.
And you only have select slaves. Select save spots.
Yeah, they're set.
That's why I don't play Silent Hill games.
Look, in Silent Hill 4, there's only one.
You know what the greatest Silent Hill game is?
Is it Downpour?
No.
Is it Homecoming?
No.
Is it
I don't know which one it's called, but it's one on the Vita. Book of Memories.
Oh.
There's no save spots. You just play the game.
That sounds awful.
That's great.
I don't. I've actually never seen any playthroughs of Book of Memories.
Oh, it's like a Diablo.
Why? You know what?
Hey. There's no save spots. You just play the game. Greatest game ever.
So what happens when you die? Does it just autosave or?
Yeah, you just come back and you do. It's like a mission select. Just like 99 missions. Like I think you just run through it and. Hey, look, I got through 5 like layers.
Is it
I'm like,
roguelike?
I don't know. I was like, I got through 5 areas. And I was like, well, that's enough of this game.
Well.
But no, in all seriousness, Shattered Memories is the best game.
Well, I'm kind of partial to 4.
Which one's 4?
The Room.
I don't know what the other one is.
It's on the PS2. Nobody talks about that one.
I think the second best one is the number 2.
Everybody loves number 2. Everybody loves number 3.
I don't think I've seen 3.
Everybody loves the first trilogy, 1 through 3. They like those.
As they do.
They don't like 4. 4 is contentious because they're like, well, it's still the Japanese studio, so I mean, it's got to be good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
little did they know that Konami was falling.
And then like nobody likes Homecoming or Downpour.
What? Oh.
You didn't like Homecoming, don't you?
No, I for some reason I thought you said Shattered Memories. Like my head was like
I don't know how people feel about Shattered
I
Memories.
swear people like Shattered Memories.
I think they only like it because
it's better than 4.
Well,
or not 4. Homecoming.
It's vaguely reminiscent of the first one. And then, oh man, there's one on the PSP. It's like Origins or something like that, and that's another one nobody talks about. But anyway, we're here to talk about how Silent Hill will shatter your senses and leave you breathless. Based on the best-selling horror action game, Silent Hill stars Radha Mitchell from Man of Fire as Rose, a desperate mother who takes her adopted daughter Sharon to the town of Silent Hill in an attempt to cure her of her ailment. After a violent car crash, Sharon disappears, and Rose begins her desperate search to get her back. She descends into a fog of smoldering ash and into the center of the twisted reality of a town's terrible secret. pursued by grotesquely deformed creatures, and a townspeople stuck in permanent purgatory. Rose begins to uncover the truth behind the apocalyptic disaster that burned the town 30 years back. Dare to step inside the horrific town of Silent Hill, where darkness preys on every soul and hell's creations await around every corner. But know that once you enter, there is no turning back.
Hot diggity.
Yeah.
It's
got Sean Bean in it.
Which is the one where the dad comes back home and he finds out that he's dead?
I think you're thinking of the end of this one. But he's not dead.
Oh, I swear I thought he was dead because then he...
There's at no point where he realizes he's dead in either of these movies. He does die.
Because it's Sean Bean.
Yes, but that's in the second one. That's in Revelation.
Okay, is Revelations the one where he comes home dead?
No, he doesn't come home dead.
No, because
his daughter comes home and finds him dead.
I swear it was from his... I mean, it's been so long.
No, at the... Okay.
I'm
going to spoil the ending to the first one because it's still kind of fresh in my memory. So
I hope you're wrong when you get in there.
So Sean Bean goes home, and he's basically just sitting there by himself.
Yeah.
And it changes a bit, and then his wife and his daughter come home, but they're still in the Silent Hill realm. So they come home to an empty house.
Okay, because that's what I thought it was. That's what I think. I think we're thinking of the same thing, but we might just have different.
But he's not dead.
Okay.
Because he's still. He's in.
You know what? Okay, going off a little tangent. Speaking of Polar Worlds or whatever. If anybody remembers the movie, oh shit, I don't remember what it's called. But it's back in like 2006. It was. All the time it played, it was about if you look in the mirror kills you.
Is that just mirrors?
Yeah, it's called Mirrors. I think you're right. And the because it has a scene where the lady's in the bathtub, and then the thing splits her head open. Like
it grabs.
That stayed in my memory for so long, and I hated it.
I have blocked that one out. It's back now though, and I hate it.
You know what we should do? We should do Ferngully as a special. I should go back there and buy.
I will cry. I will cry.
Anyway, so going back. So he ends up dying, or he ends up blowing up the ghost or whatever, and then he's now in the mirror world, and so he can only he can write on the mirrors, like, you know, but come backwards. So that's kind of, I think, what I was thinking when because I was like, oh yeah, then the girl comes home and he's like, oh, hey, honey. And she's like, fuck you, Dad. But he thinks he's talking to her, but she's really nice. She's just out there going, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
No, I think he just sits in a hammock, and then his family comes home, and they also sit in a hammock.
He's like, whoa, this is weird.
And he's just like, that's weird, the front door's open. Whatever.
But I think that's enough talking unless you got anything else.
I was going to read the back.
Oh, go ahead and read the back line. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, a total scarefest.
Ooh.
Return to a place of insanity and blood-curdling chills in this shocking sequel to one of the most surreal and gruesome horror films ever created. I'm sorry. Heather Mason, Adelaide Clemens, and her father, Sean Bean. Oh, Sean didn't get named.
Who doesn't get named?
Sean Bean's character.
Oh, he doesn't have a name, but
it's just and her father, and then in parentheses, Sean Bean. Have always tried to stay one step ahead of the malevolent forces intent on their destruction. But on the eve of her 18th birthday, a dangerous revelation leads her deeper into a demonic world that threatens to trap her in a nightmarish landscape forever. Based on the hugely popular video game series and written and directed by Michael J. Bassett, Deathwatch, it's a psychological trip into absolute terror unlike anything you've ever known. Also a bad movie.
Well, we'll get to that one because I heard that was far superior, worse than.
It might not be so bad for you since you don't have any context for Silent Hill 3.
Okay.
It might just.
So I might give it a DVD recommend, and you're like over here like, no, ignore, run.
Like,
Don't get Sean Bean.
I'll try to tell you the deviations that are major from the game.
Oh, so you're already gonna try to talk you're talking my A down.
No, I'm just gonna. Yeah. Okay, we'll be back in.
Oh, please don't tell me it's fucking 180 minutes or whatever.
No, it's 125.
Or 210, whatever the 2-hour mark is.
No, it's 125 for the first Silent Hill, and then the second one is an hour 35.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, well, see you guys in a little bit.
Yeah, see you guys. That was a long movie.
That was a very long movie.
So, plot-wise, it's almost the plot of the first game. Except it's not. Because it's dumb. And you got irritated that I kept telling you.
No, I wasn't irritated.
You were just like, Jacob, I don't care.
No,
I don't care why this is different.
You're making me seem like an asshole right now. No, I was listening to you. I was letting you have your fun.
Basically.
But you kept thinking that I didn't know, like... The only thing I will say I got irritated, and irritated is like loosely based, but you're like, yeah, just so you know that, you know, the movie doesn't go by the games. I'm like, no, really?
Well, I just wanted to tell you all the things the movie did wrong.
But go ahead, you go ahead and explain. I'll jump in when needed.
So there's a family, and the daughter is sleepwalking and shouting Silent Hill at people. Also trying to throw herself off a cliff. And they're just like, well, you know, the best thing to do in this situation is just take her to Silent Hill, whatever.
Well, the mom says the best thing to do. The dad's like, she should be in a hospital.
Therapy. So the mom just was like, well...
420 blazing, I'm out.
YOLO. And
she's gonna regret those words.
So they go to Silent Hill. Well, the mom and the daughter, Rose and Sharon.
But before they get there, they stop at a police station.
They stop at a gas station, and there's a police officer who is the biggest creeper.
Yes. It's a female, so it's okay.
Yeah, sure, why not?
No, okay. Oh, no, never mind.
But yeah, no. So like, Rose is being super sketchy about this, and so that's when the police officer Bennett, Sybil Bennett, is like, yo, I remember this case that happened 2 years ago where some dude just decided to throw his kid into a mine shaft. I'm not letting that happen again. So hilarity ensues. Not really, but they get pulled over, and then she just peels out. And they go to Silent Hill.
Rose peeled it out.
They go there. They go into the fog. The vision of Alessa shows up. They crash the car. Sharon is now gone.
Sharon's the daughter.
I think I said that, but
did you?
I might have. Anyway, Sharon's gone. Rose goes to look for her. She finds a whole bunch of these weird naked squid baby things.
And then the Ring of Fire starts playing, and then...
Saved by Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
And then... So she goes back to the car. Rose goes back to the car for some reason. Probably to call Sean Bean up and say, hey, I goofed.
You know, maybe therapy's not the wrong thing. In this
maybe not YOLO. and so she tries to start the car, and then Sybil shows up and is like, yo, where's your daughter? You're under arrest. Your daughter may be out there, but we're going to walk back to the next town over.
Yeah, and then they find out that they are...
They're stranded.
They're stranded. They're death stranding.
And then they're like, okay, fine, whatever. We'll just go... There's a radio tower. We'll call for backup there. You're still under arrest, though. And then the Silent Hill monsters show up.
Spits acid.
Sybil shoots it. It dies. And Rose is like, you know, this is the best time to run away.
So this is where... I was going to say something earlier. But this is where the police officer, Sybil, takes off her helmet. And So the one that Rose looks like Cherry's Theron something, I don't know, like a discount her, and then Rose looks like a discount what's her name from Resident Evil?
Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, Mila Jovovich. Yeah, that one. That's what I was gonna say earlier, but I was like, I'll wait till we get the reveal.
But so Rose shows up at the school. Meanwhile, Sean Bean, I think his name's Christopher, he is pulled up to the bridge that leads to Silent Hill, and he meets with Detective Gucci.
Gucci.
Or it was either Detective Gucci or Police Chief Gucci. It was Gucci. And
what a terrible name they have in 2021. Sorry.
And so they go up to Silent Hill to poke around, but they don't go to Fog Silent Hill. They go to real Silent Hill. And so meanwhile, Rose is still exploring the school. She
so we should say the reason why she's going to school is that her daughter makes pictures, and
she
one of the
found
pictures
a drawing of the school.
Yeah, and so she's like, "Oh, I have to go to the school."
It must be a clue. And so she goes there, and you get some flashbacks to Alessa's life, and it doesn't matter.
Then we meet Colin, the janitor. He's tied up in barbed wire.
He's just hanging out in the last stall.
And there's a clue that says go to a hotel. Then this darkness comes, and then
so many bugs.
So many bugs. The darkness kills 3 of the.
Well, the bugs kill.
The bugs. Well,
so there's still town folk here, and they're all dressed up in like hazmat suits of some kind, and they just get swarmed by bugs. Really disgusting bugs.
And then Rose ends up meeting with Sybil again, and then they run into this thing, and then Pinhead. No, not that. I knew I was gonna screw it up.
They run into like a janitor's closet with a big old vent, and Pyramid Head shows up. He's just like poking my sword through, like, whatever, I'ma get you. And then he just decides to go away. All the bugs die, and he just goes away. He's just like, wow.
So then now, after they met Colin, who was tied up, they go to the hotel. They go both Sybil and Rose go to the hotel, and they find a water balloon.
Yeah, her name's Anna. And that's an anagram for water balloon. And Dahlia is there as well. We didn't mention that Rose runs into Dahlia earlier, but it's a nothing scene.
Yeah.
And so basically, they find a drawing in the cubby hole for room 111.
They go up to the 111. They find out that 111's missing, but there's a painting, and so she ends up cutting the painting.
And 111's right behind it. And then they go into the next building over.
Yes, and we find out that this building is where a fire started because she sees the evil version of Sharon.
Yeah, she sees Alessa. And Alessa...
Oh, is that Alessa?
That's Alessa.
That's Alessa, yeah.
That's Alessa's dark part. But she turns around and she's like,
Alessa,
Mom, I'm on fire! And just boom, she's on fire. Oh, it's so amazing.
So then the darkness comes back again? The birds start flying.
And the birds signify the darkness, so they run back through the hotel, and then the sirens, and Anna's like, look, we need to get to the church. So they run to the church as the darkness encroaches, and Anna's just like, oh, look, there's Dahlia again. Better throw rocks at her, because that's what I do. And then Pyramid Head...
I'm a dick.
Pyramid Head just kind of pops up behind her like, yo...
Stop throwing rocks.
That's kind of lame. Watch this.
Then he brings her up to the church and says, "Hey, I like you better. I like your skin. Let me rip your skin off." And then he goes, "What to with you, the skin?" And it goes,
yeah, it just smashes on the church doors. Just a water balloon. And
now we meet the villain.
Yeah, Christabel, some church lady. Who was basically the leader of the burning. And they're like, yo, we'll take you to where the demon is, because the demon will tell you where your daughter is. And so they're like, okay, we'll take you to... Oh, God, where do they go?
Oh, they go to the...
the hospital.
Yeah.
They go to the hospital, and they're like, yeah, the demon's down here in the basement. And then she picks up Rose's amulet that she had dropped a while ago. And she's like, oh, you forgot this. And as she's handing it to her, it opens. And it's a picture of Sharon. And she's like, oh, no, that's the demon.
Yeah.
You're a bad person. So Sybil and Rose get split up.
Yeah, Sybil throws Rose into
an elevator.
Yeah, and the elevator goes down.
Descends more than one floor to the basement. It goes down pretty far. And so Sybil gets beat up. And Rose finds Alessa, and she explains the whole backstory of like, oh, well, the townspeople burned me because of reasons, I think. I was a witch.
Essentially, religion.
I had powers, I guess. And so we get the whole backstory, and she's like, so what do I do? Or Rose is like, what do I do? And Alessa's like, well, let me just climb inside of you like a weird Trojan horse. You now have a blood dress. Congratulations. So we cut back to... during some point of this, Sean Bean is out there, like, trying to get the police records, trying to figure out what this backstory is.
And nobody wants to tell him what the backstory is.
He breaks into, I'm guessing, I don't know what, the archives. And then he goes to the orphanage, and they're like, we can't tell you anything. And Gucci shows up yet again. He's like, yo, you really suck at covering your tracks. And so Sean Bean gets arrested. I mean, they tell him the story. Or at least some of it. And so then we go back to the church. And they're burning Sybil on a ladder above this pit of this bonfire. Because, you know, they didn't learn their lesson the first time. They're just like, yeah, bonfires, those are cool. We got one trick in the book.
Bonfires on third floors.
So, Sybil dies by being burned. And I completely forgot about that. I thought she made it out, but...
No, I think you told me that she died. You said, yeah, it's probably towards the end.
Oh, well. Anyway, so they're getting ready to burn Sharon. And Rose shows up, and she's like, no, you're a liar. You're a bad person.
You were all dead.
All you Tim Burton rejects, get out of here.
Be gone.
And she gets stabbed by Christabel. And unfortunately, getting stabbed means Alessa can come flowing out. And then she ascends from the floor in her hospital bed and barbed wire. And proceeds to murder the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, poor. I mean, not poor Christabel, but she gets some barbed wire in some places you don't want it to go.
I mean, once you get it in there, you can't get it out. It's like sand.
Ugh. But so then they're all dead. Alyssa then meets her good side, Sharon. And then Sharon's like, okay, well, I'm done.
Yeah, and she just kind of passes out. And then they wake up, and they're like, okay, well, time to go home. And the car starts. Rose calls up Sean, and she's like, hey, we're coming home.
You know that yellow thing? It's still on.
And, so at this point, Sean's at home.
Yeah, because the Gucci let him go home and said, hey,
just forget about this.
Forget about this.
They're dead.
And Sean Bean's like, I'll be
back with lawyers and people who know what they're doing.
And I thought for sure Gucci would be like, all right, well, I guess a bull in the head. You ain't coming back here. But no,
Gucci's a good guy.
Yeah, Gucci's. I don't think we said it, but he saved Alyssa.
Yeah, sort of.
And that's why his hands were burnt, and that's why he was in latex gloves now. I didn't catch that part, but you caught that part, and you told me that. So
yeah, like, oh. So there's a part where she's burning, and it turns out the reason why she was even able to get to the hospital is because Gucci got her out of the shackles.
Yeah, and the one thing Alyssa, gives a lot of back explaining, and the one thing I hate about demons or whatever is oh well, I mean this was a good person, they were just looking, but well I had to kill him because there was like a nurse.
It was an accident. Whoops.
I mean, she paid the price, She looked at me.
And I just kind of fucked her up.
I made her blind, and yeah.
Now she just kind of hangs out down here in my torture room, crying blood. Go figure. But yeah, so in probably the most ballsy move, Rose just keeps driving towards the cliff.
Yeah.
That was established to be a cliff, and she doesn't slow down. And then the bridge just kind of magically appears, and she arrives at the fog version of their house. Leaves the door open in the real world somehow, and then Sharon walks around real creepily. Like, I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, that was kind of weird because she was kind of like creeping to her room, and I was like, okay, so is the evil version now in Alyssa? Or I hate the name. I'm sorry anybody named Sharon. It's such an old name, but I don't know. It's just Sharon. I don't know what the hell is going on. And then the movie ends.
Yeah, Sean gets up, closes the door, and is like, well, he goes and looks outside, and he's like, huh, rain must have opened the door.
So when I remember seeing the ending, I was thinking that Sean Bean was in the spirit
hell world.
Yeah, hell world, and then Rose and Sharon were able to get out of the hell world and they're in the real world, but it was vice versa.
Yeah.
So
Sean never got to do anything cool.
So I guess we'll get to see with Revelations what's going on. So as always, we always end with A being A being buy on DVD, B being watch on Netflix, C being watch on TV, D being don't watch, and F being avoid at all costs. What do you give it?
I'd have to give it a C.
I'm thinking a C too.
Because there's some really nice visual effects, and I made a point to be like, yeah, no, the camera work here is really good, and it just it's not a very good movie.
No,
especially if you know the source material. It's just like, why did you do any of this?
Yeah, I think I was just getting to a point where, for me, it was just that the back half was just like, okay, it's just still going.
It's like, can we wrap this up? We've been looking in these decrepit buildings all movie. Come on.
And so I think, as always, sometimes I bring it up. A good movie. So Jeb has this terrible couch. It's very hard to be comfortable. There's certain movies that we can watch, and I don't feel the pain. Like I might feel like every once in a while I'm like, okay, it's like I need to move, but if I'm watching a good movie, it's just whatever. I can sit here. When you watch a boring movie, you feel it in the chair. So that's why I gave it a C. Because I think it's not egregious. Like I'm not a Silent Hill fan. Like I said, I only like 2. The Ice one.
Shattered Memories.
Yeah, Shattered Memories. Those are the only 2 I like.
And Book of something or other.
Oh, that was a joke.
No, you love that one.
No, don't you make words in my mouth. But so I don't really care. I really don't give a crap about the source material, and I'm not one of these people. I'll admit that I really don't care if a movie's different than the game. Because I love the Resident Evil movies for how shitty they are.
Except the last one.
The last one's terrible. But it's I don't mind if they do a little different. I don't mind if they make a new character for the people.
See, I prefer if you're gonna make it different, make it different.
You're true.
Don't go. Oh, we're gonna kinda go by the game, and then kinda not. We're just gonna do whatever we feel like later.
Right. Yeah, I'm not gonna say his name because there's a guy who is really egregious and with what he just gets a license and is like, okay, well, I'm just gonna make whatever I want.
Yeah, whatever.
But that's kind of like where I'm like, okay, well, you got this license and you're not gonna do anything with it. He's like, okay, well, we'll keep the main character, and then everything else is gonna be different. It's like, okay, well, that's
Yeah, at that point, you're basically not making whatever you have the license for.
that's probably a point where I'll get annoyed. But no, it wasn't a bad movie. We'll definitely see about Revelations. You said Revelations is gonna be fun, so I guess.
I mean, I'm probably not gonna tell you any of the plot. Like,
oh, go ahead and tell me a plot. Just like explain it to me like I don't know what video games
like
are.
what the plot of 3 is, because I kind of feel bad for doing that.
Oh, don't feel bad. I don't care.
Okay, well, we'll be back in another 90 minutes.
Yeah.
It'll be like 2 seconds for you guys.
And we'll have food in our bellies this time, so maybe we'll be more happy.
Yeah, probably not. We're watching Revelation.
Yeah.
See you later. Oh, no. Okay, we're back from Revelation.
Revelation, that movie was a lot better than the first one.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, it is surprisingly better than the first one.
It's something I like that movies do. Is when, so there's like what, the first one came out in.
It was copyright 2006.
2006.
And
so
that one was copyright 2013.
So Aaron can't do math, but that's at leleast 5 years apart.
It's about 7.
So, well,
maybe more if you. No, it'd probably be 7 if you factor in filming dates as well. So.
A lot of movies, when they have that big of a gap, they don't get the stars back. Obviously, they didn't get the girl.
They didn't get whoever played Rose.
No, not Rose.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. You're talking about the one who played Alessa and
Heather.
Sharon.
And they didn't get her, but they did get Rose from the first movie. Sean Bean.
Those were really the only 2 returning characters.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, they do. And also what I like is like they fill you in from the first movie, and they actually use the footage. They don't reshoot footage. It's like, hey, we're just gonna take this out of the movie, throw it in here. Yeah, and the only thing I will say up front is I don't like the. Oh no, I'll give a positive first, but it's gonna be also a negative too at the same time.
Backhanded compliment.
Yeah. The girl they got to play Heather really looks like the daughter of Rose. Heather is Sharon. I'm gonna use Heather because I can remember Heather.
I mean, Heather's the actual name, so you might as well.
So Heather looks a lot like Rose, and it is always almost perfect. The only downside is that the girl does not look like she's Asian. Oh, the other positive, we looked up where they're both from. Rose's, whatever her real name is, she's from Australia. And so is Heather. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I was like, oh, are they related? Are they the same person? No, they're not the same person, but all right, well, we'll get to the plot. We delayed long enough.
All right, so this one loosely follows the plot of Silent Hill 3. Loosely being an understatement.
Yeah, it took me probably halfway to get hit with a brick going, oh, yeah, that's what the girl looks like in Silent Hill 3.
So it opens up with basically a nightmare that Heather's having. She's at an amusement park. Pyramid Head is controlling the carousel like a bicycle, like he's pedaling with his arms and everything. And does Alessa show up in that scene? And she's like, yeah, don't come to Silent Hill. Watch me burn a fool.
That's the biggest thing is, like I said, they couldn't get the girl to play because, like I said, it's, 7 years apart. So they CGI'd the girl to look like the girl, and it looked terrible.
Yeah. So she wakes up, and Sean Bean comes in, and he's like, yo, are you okay? Don't go to Silent Hill, I swear it's bad. And then he dies. And then it was a double fake out. It was another nightmare. And so now they're living their life on the run. They've moved into town. And
they obviously didn't move far away from
not far enough.
John, you might have had more of a chance of surviving if
if you hadn't bungled this one.
If you would have said, you know what, we're just gonna go to let's see, I think I'm not for sure. I think Silent Hill takes place over near Maine, on that side of.
I think in the movies it's West Virginia.
Yeah, that's why it'd be like that.
Yeah.
Side. So if he would have went to California, you might have had a chance.
If he had just left the country, just gone to Spain. I don't know. But so he's like, so it's her birthday. It's Heather's birthday, and he's just like, yeah, I saw you looking at this this fisherman's jacket. I bought it for you, and she just looks at it like confused. And then she's like, no, I love it. It's great. I'll wear it all the time. And
I'll also say her acting is probably the worst. It's like I don't know if she's a new actor or not actress, but it's like you can tell she's kind of reading the line, just saying the line. I mean, I'm no better. I'm not saying
yeah, but you're not getting paid for it.
That's true. No, wait, YouTube's not paying me.
So, she's like, okay, well, I gotta go to school now. And she's walking to the bus. She sees a homeless man, and she's like, oh, a homeless man. I love those.
What a endangered species.
And, like, he looks up at her, and his face is, like, stitched. And she's like, oh, no! And she, like, stumbles back into traffic. And then she looks back, and he's fine. He's just confused now. And, our detective friend, Douglas, shows up. And he's just like, hello, are you okay?
Okay, so there's so many ways he could approach this situation. We find out later on that he's a PI, personal investigator, and he's like approaching. I don't think they say her age, but
no, well, maybe they don't.
But like, hey, child.
Hey, person going to
I've
school.
seen you before, right? I don't like how he has a picture of her that we find out later.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. He's a terrible investigator. I would never hire him.
So she's like, look, I gotta go to school.
Look,
so.
stranger danger. Children, if you're listening to this, I don't know why, but if you're listening to this, if you see somebody you don't know, just yell stranger danger.
Yeah, and hop on the bus and go to school.
Or even worse, yell pedophile.
So she goes to school and they do the whole shtick of like, oh, we've got some new students here, and it's her and Jon Snow.
Yes, we won't tell his real name, or not his real name, but not his name in the movie.
Yeah, his name in the movie is John.
But is it really?
No.
That'd be funny. But he is Jon Snow, literally Jon Snow.
And so they're both new, and she makes this whole shtick.
I bet you a lot of people thought you said nude.
They're
both nude.
She's like, look, this is my 5th school since I was 11.
So you fucking little bitches, you gotta fucking keep trying to make fun of me? I heard your fucking joke. It's not original. So shut your fucking mouth. And teacher's like, oh, let the fucking kids
and
fucking
she's like,
read her a lot.
Oh, dang! And Jon Snow's like, look, I can't follow up on that. So Heather has another episode at school.
There's a scene. Yeah. Sorry. Is this it? No, is this before? Okay, I was gonna say she looks into these classrooms.
Yeah, this would be her having this episode.
And so this is kind of the cool part where in the first movie there's a bunch of kids throwing these papers like they're coping the papers. Like I don't know how they're doing it, but they're just like throwing it up like Kobe, and
they're
it's just
making it rain
like
with homework.
Think of a paper. Think of throwing it up. And look how fast it just falls down. This one's like
not a crumpled piece of paper, a flat piece of paper.
Yeah, and this flat piece of paper is just going in like a ball, you know, like
going in an arc.
Yeah, going in an arc. So there's a scene where they're showing that side, and then I was like, that's kind of cool. That's a callback. We love callbacks.
So anyway, after Heather's episode happens, she sees Douglas out in the schoolyard being Douglas and being creepy. And she calls Sean Bean, and she's like, look, Dad, I think we're being followed. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'll meet you at the mall. Because, you know, that'll be fun.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, Sean Bean doesn't make it to the mall.
Yeah, he goes out the back door, and there's a cult. So, now we're with Heather again at the mall. She's watching a birthday party happen, and surprise, surprise, it's a birthday party for Heather. Not her, though, just a different Heather. And then she starts to have another episode. All the the children who are eating cake are now eating flesh. The clown is the same as what he was in the normal world, except he might be a little bit more like cleanly in the shadow world.
Yeah.
Like he's. Anyway, she sneaks. She doesn't really sneak. She goes into the back room of the restaurant place that's in the mall.
While she's being chased by Douglas.
And there's just a dude cutting a man in half, and they don't really do anything with that. She's just like, well, I'm not gonna walk by this guy, whatevs. So the mall thing happens. Douglas is like, look, your dad's lying to you. Go to Silent Hill, or don't go to Silent Hill. One of the two. I was paid to find you.
And now that I know, I'm not gonna find you.
Except I already told him where you were. My bad. He gets his fingers sliced off by a thing, and then he gets taken through the ceiling of an elevator.
Yeah. Oh, never mind.
And so Heather decides to hide in the broom closet.
No. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
call back to the first movie with Colin.
I guess. Colin was in the bathroom.
No, I know, but Colin's a janitor.
I guess. So
Us janitors stick together.
So she escapes the mall in the real world, and the police are wheeling out the body of Douglas. And Jon Snow's there. And he's just like, yo, there was a murder. Did you see it? And Heather's like, oh, I'm going home.
And while Douglas is being wheeled out on a gurney, they pull out a picture and like, oh, he has this picture in her hand, this picture in his pocket, and they show her face, and so she's standing right next to the crime scene. You think they might look around like, oh, hey, that person looks just like this picture.
No, they're really dumb. But so they Heather and Jon go home. They go to Heather's house because he's walking her home, and they have conversation about existentialism. Is dreams and reality the same or different or whatever? How can you tell? And she gets home. There's blood on the walls.
She's screaming, Dad, Dad, Dad,
It
Dad.
says, come to Silent Hill.
Sean Bean, Sean Bean.
And so she's like, well, I guess I'm going to Silent Hill. And then
Jon Snow's like, well, I heard yelling. We're going to the wall, right?
So they open up the box of keepsakes. And they take the amulet. And John's like, yo, this is a chocolate. You unwrap it.
That's an inside joke. Check out.
I know. You unwrap it. And it's chocolate inside. And then she pulls out a gun. And he's like, that's a Cadbury.
That's a Cadbury.
And so the police show up after they have bailed. And this is the last time you see the police.
Please don't look for the scene. You're not going to find it.
And so the police are like,
somebody's going to be spending hours. Fun hours. They're going to go out and buy the fucking DVD.
What is Jon Snow say to Cadbury?
Where is this Cadbury? I have to know.
So Jon Snow and Heather are now on the road to Silent Hill. And they stop at Jackson.
I'm just going to say this. Heather is an idiot. That is all.
And so when they stop at Jackson, Jon Snow's like, look, I really don't think you should be going to Silent Hill. Now, at this point, you know what he could have done? He could have literally drove anywhere else. Could have literally just drove anywhere else. Didn't have to tell her. But anyway, she's like, no, I'm going. I have to save my dad. And he's like, and John's like, look, I'm part of the cult. Check out my chest scar.
I was sent here to kill you.
But you're not evil, I guess.
But, hey, if you want to go to Silent Hill, I guess we'll go to Silent Hill. And Heather's like, okay.
And then,
okay, John.
The darkness creeps in. John gets taken away. And then Heather is in Silent Hill, I guess.
Now, I just want to say this. That fucking monster Should we spoil it now, or should we just...
We can wait.
Okay.
The buzzsaw monster?
Yes.
Yeah.
That monster had opportunity to take Heather to where they wanted to take Heather.
No, because Heather had to do a thing.
God, this movie's stupid.
So, I don't remember what happens at that point. I think Heather goes into the Hall of Mannequins. And there's a mannequin spider thing and some girl and...
Yeah, this mannequin thing is changing humans to mannequins, and now taking their body and whatever. Jay, you know your Wii U has an update?
Does it? Oh, wow, that's cool. Anyway, so that scene is completely unimportant. It's just to get
like the Wii U.
It's just to get Heather.
Oh, it turned red. What the hell's happening over here?
It's just to get Heather to the place where the cult is, so she can learn that she needs to go save Jon Snow's grandfather, or at least talk to him.
Jacob, I'm just gonna say this. I think the Wii U's listening to you.
I don't think.
As soon as I fucking pointed it out, it's like, okay, we're going back to red.
Anyway,
it was gold.
Yeah, I know. I saw it.
Jacob, I love this movie a lot more than the first movie. I'm derailing you a lot more than this movie.
So she goes to the asylum where Jon Snow's grandfather is to ask him about the medallion. And he's like, yes, I know where this goes. And he just shoves it into his chest. He's like, haha, now the two medallions are one.
Heather, the idiot.
And no, the entire time she's got him at gunpoint.
Heather, the idiot.
And so, like, he turns into a monster thing. Like a really bad-looking Carnage or Venom. And he takes her down to the jail, and then she rips out the medallion, and then he just, like, gets dusted. And then Pyramid Head shows up to do Pyramid Head things, just walk down the hallway. Then we cut back to Jon Snow being taken to the nurses for rehabilitation. And the two guards
two dumbest guards.
They might be dumber than Heather.
They might be Heather in disguise. Two Heathers.
Heather from alternate realities. But, so one's got a cattle prod, and he's just like, get away from me, nurse, get away.
These nurses don't, in this movie, can only hear sound.
They either react to sound or movement. It's one of the two. In the first one, it's light. But these two guards are dumb as shit, and like...
There's no reason why these two guards should have died, but they needed to have two people die.
Yeah,
and
so...
do the 3D effects.
Yeah, they die because they're dumb, and Heather's just in the room.
Heather just pops up, hey, John, where's my dad at?
He's like, I can help you. No, just tell me where my dad is.
Okay, he's over here this way. Okay, let me make a lot of noise. John! I gotta get you out of here, John! Oh no, the nurse is attacking us, John!
So, with John being freed, they go...
I'm an idiot, John!
They go to the amusement park, and John makes his noble sacrifice to distract the Operation Raccoon City guards. And Heather's like, well, you know, in my dream I got on the carousel, so I might as well do that in real life. And then Pyramid Head's over there, you know, just having a time with just pedaling on the carousel. And then Alessa shows up. She ages up to Heather.
Is it Alessa or Alyssa?
Alessa.
Okay, because I thought maybe you just didn't know how to say Alyssa.
No, it's Alessa.
Okay.
And she ages up so it can just be Heather, but in, like, goth clothes.
Used to be an Asian. Now I'm a white American. I'm a white Australian.
And, basically, Heather is the good part of Alessa, so they merge and they become one after the dumbest CG.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
And then Pyramid Head gets tired of pedaling the carousel, so he's just like, okay, get off. And I think at this point it's the final confrontation, and Heather walks up, hands Claudia
Claudia is Jon Snow's mom.
Yeah, also head of the cult. And she's like, I want to see your true form. And she hands her the medallion, and then she turns into Buzzsaw Face. Now, what was it you wanted to spoil about this?
Oh, well, Buzzsaw Face dropped down and ambushed Heather and Jon Snow, and took Jon Snow, but left Heather.
Right.
Now,
Buzzsaw Face isn't very smart.
Buzzsaw Face might be Heather.
So, because Heather is supposed to be super incompetent, and Sean Bean would probably die in a fight.
Sean Bean over here, I'm gonna kill you, as he's chained up. I'm gonna beat you. Like, yeah, tough talk, John. Sean.
And then Jon Snow is being Jon Snow. He's just kind of doing a thing. Pyramid Head comes to save the day. Pyramid Head.
He kills Buzzsaw.
He kills Buzzsaw Face with like relative ease, and then he's just like, "Well, see you later, guys," and he just walks off into the sunset.
Okay, going back, they never follow up on the mom of Alyssa.
Oh yeah, they just kind of said whatever about.
Because the mom who's the mother of Alyssa in the first movie. I'm saying Alyssa. I don't give a shit. The darkness never attacked her.
Yeah, you just kind of said whatever.
It just kind of went around her, and so, I don't know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I know
But like
Heather meets. God, what's her name?
Let's call Alyssa's mom.
Dahlia,
yes.
Heather meets Dahlia.
I don't know. I'm just agreeing with you.
And they exchange.
You somewhere out of nowhere became a fucking Silent Hill knowledge book. You never talk about Silent Hill. You never mention anything about Silent Hill. And all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, this is part of Downpour. Yeah, this is 3. It goes into this and this and this and this is what it means. It's like, where the fuck did all this knots from?
But yeah, no, there's a scene where Heather talks to Dahlia. It means nothing. And that's
Dahlia's like, you dumbass.
You're the good part.
You're the good part. Now, if you're here, they can kill Alyssa faster.
Anyway, so with the cult dead, they decide to leave, and Sean Bean's like, "No, I must find your mother, who's clearly."
Did we ever tell you how? Did we ever say how Alyssa got out, or how Heather got out of the? I think we skipped that.
We did skip that because it's a throwaway line.
No, it's a. You said it was a throwaway. That was they actually focused on that.
No, it was just, hey, we found half a medallion, and it caused a space-time rift, and
only one person can
person can come out, so out goes Carol. Sharon.
Rose.
Rose was the mom.
I'm sorry. I thought you were having troubles with the mom.
And Sean Bean's like, look, Rose is here, I swear. 9 years haven't, probably not dead. I'm going to go find her. Howdy.
YOLO.
And so Jon Snow and Heather leave. They run into the guy from Origins.
I knew that one.
I think his name's Trevor.
I didn't know what game it was, but he was a truck driver.
Yeah, and he's like, well, I haven't been out here in a while.
And then they set up Downpour.
And it's really weird because he really shouldn't have been there because Origins takes place before, way before the first game does. But I think it's 10 years, I don't know. But anyway, and then there's a police or prison bus that we both kind of assume is Downpour.
Well, you assume it's Downpour. You're the knowledge over here. I just said, hey, that looks familiar.
And that if it is Downpour, it makes me chuckle that they at least wanted to even talk about Downpour. But then again, it was probably pretty fresh when it came out. I mean, it was probably around the same time, 10, 11-ish maybe. But yeah, no, then that's when the movie ends.
Okay. All right, so A, B, C, D, E. No, there's no E. There's F.
Probably a C as well as the other one.
I actually would go with the B. Because I think I enjoy this one, like I said before, Jacob has a shit couch. And at least I wasn't as sore watching this movie. And it's 20 minutes shorter.
Yeah, I had that going for it.
The only thing I didn't like is the little girl. And yeah. I don't know. I thought it was a lot better.
I think it's kind of roughly the same reasons for the first one. Like, it's got some good visual effects.
We didn't have to keep watching the fucking crumbling of the city.
Yeah,
that was a 20.
Happened once.
That was a 20-minute. That was a setup, and that was like, all right, now you know when she's in this world, everything's fucking shit. And the first movie was like, oh hey, look at it fucking crumble, right? Am I right over here, guys? You see this? Bet you forgot about that.
I think the dumbest thing this movie does is just having Pyramid Head come in to save the day.
Yeah.
Because I just think that's really dumb. Like that.
You know what I think is really dumb? Heather. But,
yeah, that's fair.
No, I think what was really dumb is the fact that the fact that
Sean Bean only moved 20 minutes away from Silent Hill.
He's a Heather too. No, the fact that the mom dropped and could have killed the girl right there and then, but no, it's like, oh well, I'm just gonna take my son.
Well, no, they had to get the medallion. I think the medallion was a big deal.
But she has her husband or no, her dad locked up.
Yeah, I know, but maybe she don't want to see her dad.
God. No.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
See you
hope
tomorrow.
You guys do. Yeah. See you tomorrow. Oh, you a little tease. We're just gonna say Brennan's favorite quote that he likes to say. X's gonna give it to you. Take it what you mean. We'll take that.
X's gonna give it to you. Yeah, I can't believe it's Resident Evil 2. Apocalypse.